All right, we are back with another episode of Plotting. Very excited about this. I love this show. I know you don't like it as much, but that's okay. I got enough enthusiasm for both of us. I love
That's true.
what we're trying to do here. For those that don't know, again, I have no idea what's coming at me. This is all new to me. You're getting my live reactions here. We're gonna break down. You're gonna give me the name of a movie or something like that. I'm gonna try and guess what it is, and then we're gonna get into it and actually, talk about the plot, see how close I can get, see which one's better, those kinds of things. So, without further ado, hit me with it. What do you got?
The title of this one, which is a Netflix series that came out in 2020, and it is trending #1 in the US today. It is called Bridgerton.
It's called what?
Bridgerton?
Bridgerton? Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, Bridgerton.
Oh, all right. This sounds like, I'm going to be honest, this sounds English. This sounds English of some sort. This sounds like, I don't know, kind of, that is not a helpful title. All right, so Bridgerton, I'm gonna say it is British. I'm gonna say that it's about the town of Bridgerton, which I'm assuming is a town. I don't know if that's true, but I'm assuming it's a town. I'm gonna say it's about the local population of that town. Right now, we're getting the ins and outs. We're going into kind of what's happening within the walls of Bridgerton, right? But what makes Bridgerton interesting? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. This title literally is no help to me. Like this doesn't tell me anything. But for some reason,
I love when this happens. I live for the moment when the title is one word. Like,
I mean, I genuinely don't know what this would be about.
You've gotten randomly very close to a lot of one name titles, though.
But see, here's the problem, though. Today, I'm struggling because for some reason in my head, and I don't know why this is happening, but for some reason in my head, when I hear the word Bridgerton, the only thing I can think about is the Pinkerton Agency, which I think was like some sort of like union busting group back in like the 1920s in America or something like that. Like the Pinkerton Agency, I think it was like the robber barons hired these guys and they went out and they like busted up like the union picket lines and shit like that. And so that's literally the only thing that's in my head. So what I'm imagining is that Bridgerton is about these British guys who are going out and they're just destroying this local population, right? They're just decimating the local economy by trying to bring in the monopolies of 1920s America. That's the only thing I can think about, because Bridgerton is not that interesting, but I'm guessing it's not a person, right? That's too long for a person's name, so it's not about a person, right? Well, I mean, it's obviously about people, but it's not about a single person. So I'm thinking it's about this town. I'm thinking it's not actually the Pinkerton Agency. So I'm gonna say that in today's day and age, it's not a period piece, it's a today's day and age. And I'm going to say it's about, and by the way, if this is about some fucking British bullshit in the past, I'm going to be fucking furious. Because we've had enough of those goddamn shows, all right? We've got The Crown. We've got all these other bullshit shows, all right? So if we keep talking about fucking old England, I'm going to fucking lose my mind, all right? So I hope this isn't about that, because I'm going to lose my shit live on air. And again, we don't edit this shit, so I'm not going to be happy if that's what this is. So I'm gonna hope against hope that it's today's day and age, and it's about this little town, and I'm going to guess that it's some sort of, I'm going to say it is an agency, but it's going to be a local detective agency, and this guy is trying to bust up a local, I don't even know what kind of drug, like it's like a drug ring, but I don't even know what kind of drugs they do in England. Like what kind of drugs they do? They do like the good drugs like they have in America?
I don't know, regular ones?
I don't know. They're like more, I mean like
there's like the London
like a
Underground,
British,
like they like that was a bunch of drugs, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying they don't do drugs. I'm saying what kind of drugs they do. I'm saying do they have like fancy drugs? Like we do, like America has like a lot of meth, right? Like I feel like England is not like a meth country. It's not like they're doing a bunch of meth. So like in Bridgerton, like would they be just Would a guy just be fucking railing meth all day? Like, I doubt it. You know what I mean? So it's got to be like more upscale. So I'm going to say,
I
want to say it's a heroin. I want to say it's a heroin.
Meth in England. I don't want to take that away from them.
I mean, like, I feel like they're more cultured than meth. You know what I mean? Like, at the worst case scenario. Like, well, I mean, like, we're not. This isn't. I mean, we're talking like England. You know, I'm not talking like fucking like Ireland. Posh? You know what I mean? I'm not talking about Ireland, like that bullshit. I'm not talking about the United Kingdom. You know, like fuck those Scottish people. I'm talking very specifically about England. You know what I mean? Like the cultural epicenter of the United Kingdom.
I think you understand England very well at all, actually.
Oh, 100%. Look, and you know why I understand it? Because they keep showing me fucking shows about what's happened in England for the last 700 fucking years. So if this is another one of those shows, I'll be super pissed about it. I'm gonna be super fucking furious if this is another goddamn show about the history of England. You know what? Do something current so that we have something to fucking talk about. You know what I mean? Let's stop resting on our goddamn laurels with fucking Henry VIII. All right? Let's get some interesting shit happening currently. You know what I mean? Where's the startup scene over there? Where's fucking Silicon Valley in England? That's my question. I have no idea what this movie is about. But that's my guess. I'm gonna guess they're breaking up a heroin ring in Bridgerton, England. I don't know what this is about, but I swear to God, I'm going to lose my shit if you tell me that this is a period piece. I'm going to lose my shit. I'm not going to be happy. All right, what do you got?
It's a period piece.
Fuck off! In England? Is it in England?
Yeah.
Fuck you! This is horseshit.
Fucking trailer just opened because I had it open for too long. Yes, it looks like, from watching the trailers, it's a period piece. If you were to mesh Pride and Prejudice together with Gossip Girl, that's what it is. So it's
fuck these people. These people suck. All they want to talk about in England is all this shit that happened fucking 180 years ago. Like, what the fuck have you done for me lately? You know what I mean? Like, we're talking like pre-fucking cotton gin. These people are legitimately like pre-cotton gin. They are obsessed with shit that happened before we had like printed newspapers. Like, that's basically all this shit is. You know, they're like, hey, Industrial Revolution, that wasn't a thing over here. Like, let's go back to the time when we had some fucking tea. You know what I mean? Like, I have no idea what Pride and Prejudice was, but I assume it was before, like, women had rights. That's my guess. And these people are just obsessed with the idea of, like, the fucking Scarlet Letter. You know what I mean? Hey, guess what? America moved on. You know what I mean? Like, we moved on from the puritanical stuff, you know? Or at least, like, being obsessed with the puritanical stuff. You know, like the general popular culture is not really obsessed with it. But over in England, these people can't get past that. You know what I mean? Like, I think they need a better royal family or something. Like, something needs to happen over there because all they're doing is talking about, like, Pride and Prejudice. That shit was like the 1800s, wasn't it? Like early 1800s.
That's what I think. So I was trying to Google when exactly.
Now, granted, I've never actually read Pride and Prejudice, but I think I saw like 2 minutes of the actual movie Pride and Prejudice. And it looked like they were back in the day. I mean, we're talking like back like
this is like
hoop skirts, but before they were called hoop skirts.
Drama, a Regency romance. I don't know what that means, but it's based off of a book series by Julia Quinn. That means none of this means anything to me.
Wait. So somebody wrote a fucking book about this period in England? You're saying Bridgerton is based on a book that's written about England back in the day. That's what you're telling me.
I think so. Yes.
Jesus Christ. Who is reading these books? Why is the world obsessed with England before we had the fucking light bulb? Like, I don't understand. What is the obsession with the shit that happened back in the day? They lost the fucking war twice. You lost twice. You lost two separate times. 1776. Actually, it was like 79, whenever that shit ended. And then the fucking War of 1812. You fucking lost both of them. You lost both of them. Why do people still care? They're fucking losers. You know what I mean? Like, they are legitimately losers. And people are obsessed with going back to England at the time right after they lost. I don't understand. It makes no sense to me. Like, what is the pull? Like, fundamentally, what is the pull of England. Like, what is the story about? So you're telling me it's about Gossip Girl. So you're saying that there's some chick,
Well,
somebody who's out
the
there
trailer,
talking shit about everybody else back in the day. So this is the Scarlet Letter.
Bridgerton is a wealthy family, and there's 8 siblings, I guess. And the trailer is about, it has the old lady's voice. I was trying to look up who it is because her voice is really.
I can look it up. Here. All right, so keep going. What's
anyway? And so it just talks about how she's watching everyone and she's posting in the newspaper all of the high society gossip. So basically like Gossip Girl, like someone's watching them, they don't really know who it is, and they're feeding information to everyone about like, you know, the coming out parties or whatever. I don't really know what.
Well, this whole thing, so you're telling me this guy's name is Lord Featherton. Well, it's not his real name, but in the show it's Lord.
Julie Andrews is.
Yeah, she's the
lady. Lady Whistledown.
Yeah, which, all right, that's a little on the nose. Like, wait, you fucking whistleblower, like, really? So what you're telling me, I mean, it looks like basically the very first picture I see is this black guy with this white lady. So I'm assuming a lot of this is going to be about racial relations in England in 1812. Who the fuck cares about this?
I'm not sure if it is, honestly. I don't think it has anything. I'm not convinced.
No, he's on the cover. I'm saying they're on the cover. It's those two on the cover.
I know, but what
wait, hold on. So you're telling me. Let me see if I understand this. What you're telling me is that this is going to be a story about historic England times with a black guy and a white lady, and they're just going to not mention the race aspect of that? That's going to be way weirder. What?
It's Shonda Rhimes, so I guarantee I would not be surprised if that's what happens. Like, the cast seems to be very.
But they're just gonna skip the race part? You can't just set this at fucking 18. What the fuck? You can't set a period piece and then just pretend like part of that shit didn't exist. You're telling me racism wasn't a fucking thing back in the 1800s in England? They hated all the white people back then. They hated all the fucking American people that they kicked out of the fucking country. And you're telling me that's ludicrous. I don't understand. I hate this show. I'm 2 thumbs down on this show. Fuck this show. This show sucks. I don't fuck. And Shonda Rhimes, she makes popular stuff. I get it. Whatever. Swinging a fucking miss on this one. Seriously, if this is a show that's set back in the 1800s in England, and there's going to be a main character is going to be a black guy dating a white lady, and we're just going to pretend like that was normal back then, you're out of your fucking mind. I don't know. What do you think? Does this seem interesting to you? Are you into this? Are you into period piece?
Yeah, I probably watch it. I mean, I like all of the period pieces.
Oh my God.
I love Pride and Prejudice.
What's the appeal? Tell me what the appeal. Like, can you distill for me? What is it about historic England that brings you in?
I don't even know if it's historic England. I think that people like how society and the romantic relationships are portrayed. I think in that era, it's not, it's very subtle, and so there's a lot of romantic buildup, and the drama ends up being pretty subtle.
What do you mean it's subtle? I don't know what that means.
People love Pride and Prejudice because
they're stupid.
The story, like, they talk to each other and they don't like each other, then they like each other, but it's not based on like heavy sex scenes or anything. So I think people like the romanticism of that. And then period pieces like this seems like it's a modern take on the same like genre. It's not as serious as, what was that other show that everyone liked? Oh man, I can't remember it.
I have no idea. I don't watch any of these shows. I literally have never seen a single period piece about England. You know why? Because they fucking lost the war, and I don't give a flying fuck what happened in England in the 1800s. Like, you lost, bro. You know what I mean? Like, they lost the war twice. Again, 2 times. 2 separate times they got beat. They got beat 2 separate times. And now we're obsessed with the idea of like their culture back in the day or whatever. That part actually makes sense to me, like what you just said, which is they like I don't know if I'd use the word subtlety, but like the non
nuance.
Well, yeah, but it's based on, it's an intellectual affair as opposed to a physical affair, as opposed to we're gonna sell this through sex. whatever. It's let me talk to you. Let me understand who you are as a person. Like it's the shit that should be happening in the real world, right? Like, hey, and look, if you want to have sex with somebody just because they're hot, like, good for you. But if you want to have a relationship with somebody, right, it's about who you are as a person. Like, let me get to know you, that sort of thing. And these people back in the day, like, they're writing letters and shit, like, by candlelight to each other about, like, here's what I did for the last 3 months or however long it takes the postmaster general to fucking show up on his horse with your letter, right? So you get to know who they are as a person. Like, I think that's what you're saying, is like, you kind of get to know who they are as a person. And it's not about the sex. It's not about, it's not like, oh, like the scandal isn't, oh, this person slept with this person's boyfriend or something like that. It's, the upper class shouldn't be talking to the lower class, stuff like that. But that's because what the implication is of them as a human being is in, the upper class, you're better than lowering yourself to speaking to someone who is almost subhuman, right? That's the kind of thing you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think another part of it, kind of what you were saying, and this might be what you were saying, and I'm not understanding what you're saying correctly. But I also think people in a way like to think like, oh, we've come so far and things have changed and things were so different, but they really aren't. Maybe you don't talk about some of those issues outright, but they're still happen, it like still happens in our modern society, like class issues and all that stuff. People haven't really changed that much. They just go about it in a different way. And I don't know if it's more interesting because it feels like it's new, but it's not new shit half the time.
So you're saying that people like to watch this so that they can judge people that they deem as morally inferior to them. That's genuinely like we feel like we can judge these shitty elites back in the day, so we can watch this fucking garbage that keeps getting made about yonder time fucking England, the days of yore when they fucking sucked as a country. Like, we gonna watch that so that we can judge the elites. That's what you're saying to me?
A little bit, yeah.
This is a terrible reason to watch this show. I'm 2 thumbs down on this thing. I'm so far down. It's unbelievable. Stop making fucking shows about the past. You know what I mean? Like, let's make some current shows. How about that? Like, let's make some shows that have cell phones in it. You know what I mean? Because, like, you take cell phones out, and then everybody's like, oh, well, we can have these problems about, oh, people can't say whatever. No. Write me fucking Pride and Prejudice with the cell phone and make it good, and then I'll be impressed. All right? Stop fucking writing about the past, because we already know what happened. Like, I don't care. I'm just not that interested. I'm 2 thumbs down. I don't know. What are you?
I've had several people mention how much they like the show and they binge watched it and they loved it. So I'll probably watch it, but I watched the trailer and I was just like, oh, this just seems like Gossip Girl based during a period of Pride and Prejudice. I was like, this has been done several times before. So I'm with you on that. I don't have as many, I don't really care like who's on the cast or that there's a black dude with I don't like the fact that they don't bring that up, or it's like it wasn't the reality of that during the time period isn't real. I don't really care, but I kind of just think it's going to be boring because I've already seen all of Gossip Girl. I've already seen a lot of shows like it. So I guess that didn't seem new. I thought it was going to have a really new, like, catchy idea. And that literally the trailer just seemed exactly like Gossip Girl to me. It's a voiceover. It's a person who's writing the gossip, like voicing over everything. I mean, it's like the trailer just it doesn't make it different because you put people in different clothes.
Yeah, I agree. I guess maybe it does kind of make it a little bit different if you said it back in the day and then just pretend. So like back in the day, and then we just pretend like shit didn't actually exist back then, like some sort of, cultural, relatively important cultural aspects of kind of some of maybe the key storylines like don't exist. That might make it a little bit different if we just pretend like we're in a fucking alternate world or something like that. But I'm actually surprised. I'm shocked actually that you were not on board with this. This is shocking to me. I would have thought you were fully on board. Like, this seems right up your alley. So I'm actually pretty pumped.
It does. I thought
I'm pretty pumped that you're not 2 thumbs up on this. I thought you were going to be fucking thumbs, toes, whatever up on this thing. And you sound like you're neutral at best, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think I'm neutral. Again, I've said in the past I'll probably see a movie I put one thumbs down to, so that doesn't mean I won't watch the entire season. But had I not seen the trailer, I think I would have been way more pumped about it. I didn't, it just I don't know if the show will actually be like that, or if they just did that because they know that the same audience is gonna be attracted to this as it would Gossip Girl, which is probably true. It's probably literally the people who grew up on Gossip Girl are going to watch this because the
Yeah,
people who have recommended it were also people I watched Gossip Girl with. So,
that's
which was
fair.
also a book series that I read before.
That's fair. That's fair. I agree with you. This sounds like garbage. All of the thumbs down over here. Well, you didn't actually give your official rating. What's your official rating? What are you at?
Yeah, it's like neutral.
You're neutral. I think this is fucking trash television. If you watch this, I think that you are a fucking simpleton. That's just my opinion. But I guess people are going to watch it because everybody's watching it now. I don't know. Whatever. If you have some interest in trying to explain to us why this is interesting, which good luck with that. But if you do, you can email us. We got an email. What's the email?
The email is info.plotting@gmail.com.
All right, so you can hit us up there. If you're listening to us, on YouTube and all that, we do appreciate it. Please, subscribe and all that stuff. If you're on the podcast, please rate, review, all those things. That does help us out. Otherwise, we will be back next time with some other show that, for the fucking love of God, was about something that was made in the last 50 years or something. Hopefully, that's the case. But I guess we'll find out next time. So please come back and find out with me.